Star Wars Outlaws has gotten more hate this year than almost any other game this year, and after playing the game and finishing the story mode and a bunch of side missions, I honestly don't see why this game is getting so much hate. The game is actually rather good, and it does have a lot of flaws, but I still don't believe it is anywhere close to being the worst game of 2024. When I first got on Star Wars Outlaws, my expectations were rather low. The game was getting a lot of hate from YouTubers and Star Wars fans, and a lot of that hatred was warranted, because a lot of the gameplay they were showing before the game release looked pretty bad. But, when I got on Star Wars Outlaws, the graphics looked a lot better than the gameplay demos IGN was showing us. The only thing about the graphics that didn't look good was K-Vess's face scan. It looked awful, and it got harder to look at the more I played the game. Even 2K face scans look better than that. I also had some doubts about the story before coming into this game because the trailers barely even showed us what the story was even going to be about. And after playing the story mode, I'm still not that impressed. It wasn't bad, but it felt rushed, and I needed more time to connect with the characters it tried to introduce. I did like some of the characters like ND5, but you just don't spend enough time with him to start feeling anything for him. Also, another problem with the story is the main villain is kinda weak and is barely even present throughout the campaign. Now, the story isn't bad and it definitely has its highlights, but it is also probably the weakest part of this game. But I think the gameplay in Outlaws makes up for the weak story because the gameplay is really enjoyable. And I know a lot of people are calling it basic, but not every game needs to have revolutionary gameplay. Sometimes sticking to what works is for the best, and Outlaws does a good job at that. The shooting in this game is really good for a third-person shooter. Normally in these kinds of games it's rather hard to aim, but in Outlaws I found it to be extremely easy and most importantly fun. Also, it feels nice using nicks to help you during gun combat. The only thing that wasn't nice about the gun combat is taking cover from lasers. It's sometimes useless because most of the cover doesn't fully protect you, and sometimes the enemy AI will rush while you're taking cover, which will always make gun combat frustrating when it happens. Stealth is another key aspect in the gameplay that I really liked. It was challenging enough for me to actually enjoy it instead of getting bored. And a lot of the missions are stealth only, and if you get caught, you have to start over, which is a good thing because, well, what's the point in having stealth if getting into a shootout is always most likely to happen? Even when a shootout does happen during missions where stealth is an option, you still get punished with losing reputation, so stealth always feels like it matters. So, overall I think the gameplay is really good. The only thing about it that isn't all that good is the ship combat. And I only say that because it's just a little too easy when you're fighting in your ship. I kinda wish it was a bit more challenging. But other than that, the gameplay is by far the best part of Outlaws. Now the biggest issue with this game is actually the glitches and bugs. I've had to restart this game at least 3 times because it just straight up stops working, and I can barely go 1 hour without encountering a bug. 2 times the game wouldn't stop making my controller vibrate, and eventually I had to turn the vibrations off for the game. And another time the game stopped playing sound and I had to restart the game to fix it. And one time Kay started flying through the map. I honestly haven't encountered this many game-breaking bugs since I played Cyberpunk on the Xbox One, and I wish they waited another month or 2 to release this game because it's obviously not ready, and there are no excuses to ever release a game with this many bugs. That being said, I still think this is a good game. Once they finally fix all of these bugs, I think this game will be worth buying. But for now, thanks for watching this video, and if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and comment down below your thoughts on this game.